Keshav sat under the wide emerald leaves of a giant banyan tree. The air was sweet with the scent of jasmine, and the afternoon sun danced through the branches. He smiled at the children gathered around his feet. "Would you like to hear a story about a boy who was as brave as a lion, but as gentle as a flower?" he asked. Amara leaned forward, her eyes wide with wonder, waiting for the first word. Long ago, there lived a young prince named Prahlada. While the world around him was often loud and chaotic, Prahlada's heart was always full of peace. He spent his days singing songs to the great protector, feeling a secret light glowing inside his chest. He knew that goodness was everywhere, hidden in the rustling wind, the flowing water, and the golden rays of the sun. But Prahlada's father, King Hiranyakashipu, was not a peaceful man. He was very powerful and very proud. He wanted everyone in the kingdom to chant his name and bow only to him. He believed he was the strongest force in the universe. He stood on his high balcony, draped in heavy gold, looking out at his vast empire with a frown that could chill the summer air. The king grew angry when he saw his son praying to something other than him. "Why do you not bow to me, the master of the world?" he roared. Prahlada looked up at his father with a kind, steady smile. "Father," the boy whispered, "there is a power greater than kings, and it lives in everyone's heart. It is the love that holds the world together." The king's face turned as red as a glowing coal. The king tried many ways to make Prahlada change his mind, but the boy remained as steady as a mountain. Finally, the king called for his sister Holika. She possessed a magical shawl that protected her from the heat of any flame. She sat in the middle of a roaring bonfire and took Prahlada onto her lap, believing the fire would finally frighten him into obedience. But a miraculous thing happened. A sudden, playful wind swirled into the courtyard. It lifted the magical shawl right off Holika's shoulders and wrapped it gently around Prahlada. When the smoke cleared and the fire died down, Prahlada stepped out of the cooling embers, completely untouched. His faith had protected him like a soft, cool blanket of stars. Hiranyakashipu was now more furious than ever. He dragged his son into the great hall of the palace and pointed at a tall, cold stone pillar. "If your God is everywhere, is he in this pillar?" the king shouted, his voice echoing against the walls. Prahlada nodded gently, his voice clear. "Yes, father, he is even there." The king raised his heavy iron sword to strike the stone. Suddenly, the pillar began to shake. A sound like 1,000 crashing waves and 100 rolling thunders filled the hall. Great cracks appeared in the stone, and from within the cracks, a brilliant, blinding golden light began to pour out. Prahlada stood back, not with fear, but with a heart full of joy, knowing that his prayers were being answered. Out of the shattered stone jumped Narasimha, a magnificent being with the powerful mane of a lion and the strong body of a man. He was a protector who appeared at twilight, neither fully animal nor fully human. He stood between the king and the boy, his golden eyes flashing with justice. Hiranyakashipu finally realized that no amount of pride could ever defeat the power of true devotion. Keshav patted Nakul's shoulder as the story ended. "So you see," he whispered, "courage isn't about being the biggest or the loudest. It's about trusting the light that lives inside you." Even when things seemed dark, the sun began to set behind them, painting the sky in vibrant shades of violet and gold, just like the colors of the story they had shared together.